2019 is looking to be a very busy year for gamers who consider themselves fans of RPGs and JRPGs because there's a staggering amount of releases to look forward to. With crazy looking over-the-top battle systems from the east, online shooter grindathons from the west, and a little bit of everything in between, this year will certainly have something for everyone. The following are just a sampling of some of the upcoming role-playing games that look awesome to me, and I hope this helps to hype you up for 2019 just as much.
How does it feel to give up your humanity?
Requesting salvage! Please, I don't want to die!
Forget them.
God Eater 3, the first entry in the series made from the ground up for home consoles as opposed to handheld systems, and is looking to appeal to a far wider audience this time around. God Eater is a boss-focused action RPG in a similar vein to Monster Hunter, where you're predominantly tasked with taking down one singular enemy. However, this series takes out nearly every aspect of methodical and goes full-on over-the-top anime action. If you find the concept of Hunter-style games intriguing but can't get into the slower-paced combat, God Eater 3 provides much of the same addicting and satisfying loop of farming materials to craft better gear, but is far flashier and more quickly paced. Biomutant is a very ambitious open-world RPG that's looking to take third-person action combat to a whole other level. This attempts to seamlessly mix martial arts-inspired melee combat, third-person shooting, and firing off mutation-based abilities gained by dynamically evolving over the course of the game. Biomutant looks to reward players willing to become the gnarliest biohazard in the animal kingdom. Shin Megami Tensei is the grandfather series to the recently popularized Persona sub-franchise, but both share many core elements. While not much gameplay is currently available for the 5th entry, this franchise usually doubles down on the importance of exploiting enemy weaknesses and maximizing the demon fusion system to create the perfect team synergy. With even darker overtones and often more unforgiving difficulty than Persona, Shin Megami Tensei 5 should be the brutally hard, in-depth JRPG to really challenge hardcore gamers. The game I'm sure most of you are very keenly aware of, Kingdom Hearts 3 is taking the series' presentation and production values to infinity and beyond, and then some. Sora and his unique band of travelers will journey to numerous new Disney-themed locations and duke it out with some of the most cinematic and engaging combat that action RPGs have yet to see. Even if you're not caught up on the bevy of previous titles, it's never too late to jump into this intriguing story that revels in its nuanced and meticulous world building. Yet another great title if you're currently suffering from Persona 5 withdrawal, the Caligula effect Overdose uses a similar tone and setting along with injecting a little Danganronpa into full effect to create the ultimate high school from hell. Some 500 students are at your disposal to recruit and sacrifice to your cause. They battle it out in a very intriguing combat system that utilizes some turn-based elements, some real-time, and adds significance to character orientation on the battlefield, which all plays a huge impact on aiming your abilities. If you consider yourself a fan of nuanced and deep combat systems in your JRPGs and can't get enough of the dramatically trippy Japanese school settings, definitely keep an eye out for the Caligula effect Overdose. The Tales of franchise has a long storied history of piling system on top of system with each new entry. If you've found some of the latest games harder to get into, I highly recommend the remaster of Tales of Vesperia. This game was the pinnacle of the traditional style of Tales of games where the combat nails balance between instantly satisfying and just deep enough to encourage creativity without going overboard. With some of the best environments and storytelling of the entire series, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition is a must-play for newcomers and franchise veterans alike. Indivisible, from the team behind the cult classic fighting game Skullgirls, takes a crack at the side-scrolling RPG genre. Indivisible balances out real-time Metroidvania-style 2D exploration and platforming, along with a 4-unit timing-based battle system that will be greatly familiar to fans of the Valkyrie Profile series. This style of combat requires strategic timing of when to use certain characters in order to maximize your combos as you dynamically call them into action during your turn. With amazing-looking animation and a seemingly healthy mix of exploration and combat, Indivisible is definitely one to have on your radar. Death End Request has you attempting to solve the mysteries of a simulated online world as you bounce back and forth between reality and simulation. Dungeon exploration requires the use of specific characters and their particular skills to access new areas and find secrets, all while battling it out in an absolutely bonkers-looking combat system. The combat is described as a turn-based battle system that allows you to shift the gameplay to a first-person shooter or fighting game. You might be as confused as I am, but I am still wholly intrigued by interesting battle systems, and Death End Request seems to provide exactly that.
Each time I learned something new about our world, or the state of those living in it, my feelings of guilt pierced me even deeper. The springs started to dry up.
Code Vein is an unforgiving action RPG set in a vampiric post-apocalyptic setting with the stylings of a traditional anime-influenced JRPG. What helps differentiate Code Vein from other Souls-like games out there is its reliance on utilizing an AI companion or online partner, along with a more traditional RPG leveling system and a multitude of active abilities. The combat system here in Code Vein is looking extremely satisfying, and we'll have to wait and see if these rundown regions will be able to paint a compelling enough world to showcase the action-focused gameplay. Lapis Cross Labyrinth is a side-scrolling action dungeon crawler that looks to drown you in visual stimulation as you decimate everything in sight. Using a semi-unique character stacking mechanic, you'll have to strategically plan how to maximize your totem pole of death in order to come out victorious against the 100+ enemy types present in the game. If you like flashy damage numbers exploding all over your screen and rewarding action RPG gameplay, keep Lapis Cross Labyrinth in mind when it launches later in 2019. Fae Tactics is a grid-based strategy RPG that claims to use a unique menuless battle system. Creatures called Fae can be found, recruited along your journey, and play an important role when summoned into battle. With a heavy emphasis on creating combos and maximizing effective use of elemental weaknesses, the combat mechanics here look to change what you expect from turn-based tactics games.
In order. But they're wrong, teacher. The crests are to blame.
Fire Emblem Three Houses is the first time this tactics RPG franchise has graced a home console since the original Wii era. This entry is looking to shake up its own formula more so than even the recent 3DS titles. Instead of giant singular units battling amongst themselves, the battles are made to incorporate more grunt units that will accompany your heroes and fight alongside them. This not only makes the combat look like you're participating in a giant battle, but these units can be shifted around the associated leaders in various ways to add further depth to the strategy. While not a whole lot is known right now about further system changes, I'm sure Fire Emblem Three Houses has much more depth to show off over the course of this year leading up to launch.
I will return here someday, my teacher. Promise me that you won't forget me.
There seems to be far more RPGs coming out this year than I could possibly ever cover here. There's many more huge AAA releases just on the horizon, along with little-known titles trying to make their mark on the genre this year. If you didn't quite find something to your liking that I previously talked about, I encourage you to take a look at the numerous other RPGs coming out this year that I have listed on screen right now. Nearly all of these games I want to dabble in as well, but how the heck is anyone going to have enough time this year to play at least half of these, but we have to try. Did I happen to miss any of the RPGs that you're looking forward to this year? Let me know in the comments because I really love this style of game and don't want to miss any. If you like this style of content and consider yourself a fan of RPGs or just enjoy deep dives into the nuances of game mechanics and systems, consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon to stay up to date on everything I publish here. I greatly appreciate every single view, comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, and everyone who helps to support the channel in any capacity that they can to help keep all this going. This has been Deadite, and thanks for watching Boomstick Gaming.